Hello, hello, hello. It is Friday. I'm CJ. I'm a very poorly CJ. I'm so sorry. You're gonna just have to deal with crappy quality and slightly less animation than usual. The topic this week is all about concerts that we've been to and like our top concerts. For those of you who don't know, I'm a massive music junkie. So from when I was like 19 to when I was about 24, I think I probably went to like 4 or 5 gigs a week at least every week. I've been really lucky because some of like my favorite concerts and some of my favorite musicians have been people that then I've been able to sort of call friends, kind of, not in like, well, some of them have been to birthday parties. But, you know, like in that way of like bar friends, or we would know each other's faces. I think probably my number one all-time favourite, I have seen this band more than I have seen any other band in the history of ever, is The Frames, or some permutation of a band that Glenn is in. I've maybe seen like into the hundreds of shows. And so like a lot of like my live music love, if you like, has all come from like the Irish scene. Duke Special, he was really amazing live. Bellex One, they're fantastic live. Mundy is probably one of my favourite live performers. I've seen him play in like a few different places, and he's always like amazingly good, even when it's just him and a guitar, which is like my favourite. My biggest gigs, I guess my two biggest like geek out gigs, if you want. I saw U2 play Croke Park in Dublin in 2005, where I did the whole like, you know, I was like on the rail, 2 rows back, something like that. They were phenomenal then. I got to see the Police when the Police reformed for like their anniversary tour, and so I saw the Police play in Wales, in Cardiff, and in Manchester, and that was an amazing crowd to be part of. Manchester in particular, because I had tickets where I was like I wasn't that far back from the front, and I was just in with a pack of people who were all like 30, 40 years older than me. So happy to be there. So delighted to see this in this like amazing kind of carnival-esque show, which that was just amazing. There is an Irish, I don't know what, like fusion band, I don't want to call them that, that seems really disrespectful and kind of doesn't mean anything. There's this Irish trad band, I guess, rock trad band. Irish people, help me out, how do you describe Keela to anybody? Keela, they are just incredible, and when I was at university they played our like student bar, and that's one of the very few times that I was in like a mosh pit, which is like the most wholesome mosh pit ever. Like I came out and I had like bruised ribs from it. Like I'd just been banged against the barriers, which was like weird because I like grew up going to Leeds Festival, and that was always like the hard rock thing, but like nothing was in comparison to just how like pumped Keela kind of got us. A lot of singer-songwriters. Brendan O'Shea is one of my favourites. He is a bartender at this bar in New York called The Scratcher, which is on East 5th between 2nd and 3rd, and he's also an amazing musician. I'm just going to put some links to some music down. If you're interested in particularly like Irish singer-songwriter stuff circa 2006, this shit's going to be your jam. Who else have I seen that I really loved live? I don't see a lot of live music anymore, actually. I think I saw Glenn in Shepherd's Bush, and that was maybe the last live gig that I saw. Other than like, you know, smaller bands where I didn't necessarily go see them, I just went because I wanted to see some live music. And I do get that a lot. Like I'll sometimes go play like singer-songwriter sessions just because I really like to be in front of a crowd and I really like to play, and I feel like sometimes my ego just wants like a little moment to be like, hey, here's a song that I wrote. Like I do have a really big problem playing favourites with music because a lot of it also depends on like who I was with. Like my best friend in the entire world is a music nerd too, and the two of us when we were in our 20s would just like pack up a car, take some sandwiches, drive across the country, see a gig, and then go home. Because she could drive and I could make sandwiches. And I think if you ever get the chance to do something like that, that's always like a really great idea. So yeah, I mean, I guess probably more than anything, I'm not into like super huge concerts and that entire thing. I just really like the whole having of like a space where you can sit and enjoy, and things like in the Scratcher, like a lock in there with some guitars and some friends was probably like magical. It's actual magic. But yeah, I mean, just music, isn't it great? Isn't it just amazing? So, apologies for the shoddy production values that you got this week. It's nice to talk to you, and I will speak to you next week. Okay, bye, guys.